A Melbourne woman has described the horrors she saw in the aftermath of the Mexico nightclub shooting that claimed at least 5 lives and injured dozens more. The 38-year-old fitness instructor, who has requested to be known only as Katie, managed to escape the chaos inside the Blue Parrot beachside nightclub and hid with friends behind a side fence as gunshots rang out. It was when police escorted her to safety, back through the nightclub, that Katie was confronted with the bloody effects of the gunman's rampage. "We saw 3 people dead, one was just lying there and they were trying to save him," she said. "There was blood everywhere. A girl was shot in the leg. It was scary." As she walked through the club, Katie turned to see a woman cradling an injured man in her arms. The whole top of his head was gone. His head was gone, it was gone. There was a lady putting a bandage on it, trying to stop the blood, but I think he was already gone. Minutes earlier, Katie had been dancing to the droning beats of electronic mixes in the popular beachside club, which was one of many venues hosting the BPM Music Festival. Top DJs and electronic music lovers from around the globe had descended upon the clubs of the resort town of Playa del Carmen, located on Mexico's Caribbean coast, for the 10th anniversary of the festival. Speaking from her hotel room 24 hours after the attack and still shaken by the ordeal, Katie said she initially thought the gunshots were firecrackers. "Then next minute, everyone just hit the ground," she said. "My friend pushed us to the ground and we hid behind a fridge only meters away from the gunman. The first thing I thought was that it was a terror attack. We saw everyone running to the back of the club and then my friend had a quick look up to see if he could see him, the gunman, and then we just decided to make a run for it as well. When we got down the back, everyone was just scrambling over each other, jumping the fence into the water. We heard someone yell, 'He's coming, he's coming.' Then we heard shots again, so we ran around a corner. The gunman seemed to make his way through the club and was shooting at the fence where people were trying to escape." Katie and her friends slipped through a small gap in a bamboo fence and crouched behind it. "We were absolutely terrified, just wishing that we would get home and see our families again," she said, her voice breaking. "I thought I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die." At one point, Katie's friend peered over the fence. She looked up and she said, "He's here, he's here, he here." I'm covering her mouth, trying to tell her to be quiet so he wouldn't hear where we were. After several minutes, but what Katie said seemed like forever, police arrived to lead the survivors to safety. On the street, they were confronted with more chaos. "Everyone just hit the streets, running everywhere," Katie said. "We ran, we just ran. We grabbed each other's hands and ran. We were trying to find our other friend, and he'd jumped over the beach wall. People were just screaming and running. Katie and her friends ran until they found a taxi driver prepared to take them to their hotel. She spent Tuesday contacting family and friends to tell them she was safe. At least 5 people were killed, including 4 foreigners, 2 Canadians, an Italian and a Colombian, and 15 more were wounded in the shooting, which occurred on the final night of the BPM festival. The Department of Foreign Affairs said there were no reports of Australians being injured or killed in the shooting, although a number of Australians were inside the club at the time. The Attorney General for the state of Quintana Roo, Miguel Angel Pexen, said the shooting was not an act of terrorism, but police were still investigating a motive. He said initial investigations suggested the gunman attempted to enter the club when another person tried to stop him, sparking a gunfight that drew in security staff. During the struggle, shots were fired in different directions. 4 people have been arrested on suspicion of being involved in the incident.